Yes, and good afternoon and welcome back to Friday's edition of the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP, and joining me this afternoon is my lovely two fellow men, Mr. Sean Maloney and Paddy McCourt. Shawnee boy, you're looking off a fresh face. It must be that cleansing you've gave yourself with all that domestos you've drank for Tuesday night, mate. It's good to see you, man. How you been?
Fun enough, I've actually cleaned the house this morning, mate, after my day job. So that's one reason why I'm smelling domestos, but the other reason is obviously the other night cleansed my soul after the game, sitting with bleach and the usual ready salty crisp, mate. So I actually got a shave and on a haircut just to make sure that I was looking good, because I don't know if I came out the house after that result during the week. So, but no, I'm good, mate. Obviously, I will get my wee piece about the night news. Had a good chat last night, which I actually enjoyed. He's covered all bases, I think, without having to kind of really, let's say, get into too much swearing and balling. So I thought he's done well to actually stay calm and cover it. And again, I think Baz has spot on a few things he said about obviously the game, and usually the exact same lads. So I'm looking forward to chatting to you about the game on Sunday, because I think there will be a few changes, mate. So hope you and Alan are well as well, mate. And I hope you have diluted the domestos, mate, because I might need it on Monday, I know.
Well, I think I've diluted, mate, since bottle of just, to be honest with you. I'm totally fine, in all honesty. Alan, how are you, mate, for your last spoke to you on Wednesday with Barry Bannon?
Aye, a lot perkier. Slightly happier. The memories of Tuesday night starting to kind of fade into the distance. So, aye, a lot more positive mood, and we can look forward to hopefully a far better performance at the weekend and some points on the board, and no conceding that many goals. Well, I'd take a 9-6 or something, but aye.
I think I'll say 6-9 there.
Bearing in mind, this is a family show. We don't encourage bad behaviour on this show. But I think we get your point, Ryan. Cheers, mate. No, lads, like your banner just says there, obviously Celtic next up against Aberdeen. I've put in, will the team change from Madrid? I know, Ryan, you're wanting to cover a wee bit that you possibly didn't get to say on Wednesday nights. So I'll let you do your wee summary of that, and then we'll move on very quickly.
I think you should go make the tea for you and Alan, mate, if you want. I'll be for about half an hour. So.
Right. Okay.
Nah, I'm not kidding. I'll try not to be too much, because you kind of covered a lot of bases on Wednesday. The board has to blame, but obviously the first part, the red card's killed us. It has killed us. I know we conceded before then, which was, for me, schoolboy stuff in McGregor. You're told, Hughes mentioned it on Wednesday, you're told when you're young, learning the game, get the ball away for your goal, you header it out wide, height, length, all that kind of early stages coaching, and a guy at that level has not done it. But it's not the first time some of the guys at this level have not done it. So I thought that was poor, and Joe Hart for me has got to do better. I noticed a deflected goal, but he's got to maybe speak quick enough. JP, that's a guy with loads of experience, and for me, it's not like it's went 50 mile an hour. It's nowhere near that. And again, I know I'm not at a goalkeeper at that level, but just by looking at the goal, it looked quite soft that went in the net. So, and then like you can regroup again. We started until the goal. I know it sounds silly, but we started well. We were playing for the back. We were playing going forward, and Palmer had an early shot, and you're thinking, right, we're in a wee bit of groove here. And then the red card. I can see why the referees gave it, right? I can, because of the way football's moved on. When we played years ago, mate, see if you get a red card for that, you'd be wiring your referee's neck. Do you know what I mean? That's just the way football was back then. You'd be really getting after them up with the referee. But the referees give a yellow card. So this is why, and it's no clear and obvious. The referee's seen it. He's given a yellow card. I thought VAR was for clear and obvious. And that's not clear and obvious. The referee's seen it and he's gave it. So, again, he's done to us being soft. I've said it plenty of times throughout the years that we're far too soft and we just accept things. For me, we just accept things. And I think we're too soft. And Kyle gets the exact same fibble on him. He's yelling about. Sorry, he wasn't yelling about. He gets up right away, accepts it. They're rolling about to the referee, they're in groups and impact referee, go and look at VAR, go and do this and go and do that. And we don't do anything like that. We just accept it. And it's not even in Europe it happens. It's in Scotland as well. We just accept it. These teams are renowned for doing it. Italy, Spain, Germany, they all do it. But why do we not do it? Is it just because we just accept things and we just want to play football and do it? I don't know. But I mean, we did speak about it on Wednesday about the small things and small margins that can get you bookings and free kicks and penalties. And I know people might be listening and watching going, crap, Ryan, you're really not wanting anything. But it just shows you during the week. I think I was onto something because they go to that, they tell the referee, go and VAR, go and look at this. And they go to the red card. But simple mistakes, mate, for players that we think are top players at that level. I know we can moan about the spending power, but your marquee signing in Carter Vickers, he's made mistakes. Lazio, Madrid, I know he's not really fully fit, but he's made mistakes. I think
that's his worst game in a Celtic jersey Tuesday night.
Alistair Johnson, again, header it wide. What are you doing, man? These are guys that we are thinking top players, but even McGregor for me is a top player, but I think when you go to this level, you can't. I don't want to say they're average players because they're professionals, JP, but there's levels to the game, and I don't think Madrid came out of first gear, mate, to be honest with you. I don't think they came out of anything that they had to come out of. I didn't think we were, this is going to sound mental, right? But I didn't think we were absolutely, severely rotten. I just think we weren't at the races at all, and they just took advantage of it. And again, I think it's down to mistakes, mate, and we keep saying it. The captain says, when do we learn? Well, we'll learn from it. Well, Captain, when do we learn? Every press conference is the same. It's like Tavernier across the road, very disappointed. That's like us in Europe. We need to learn. So when do you learn? I think me and you and I spoke about it on Tuesday. But when do we learn? It's going to turn at some point. So the last bit for me, mate, is as much as I don't want to blame the board because they're no in the park making the mistakes, but they're the hierarchy that's giving the manager the manpower to go into these competitions. I'm sorry about it's not about the players for the transfer fees, but you can only sign so many projects before you need to look at things and go, listen, look, what's going on here? I think we need to go back to, I spoke to somebody who we know, Barry McCandless, on the podcast, and me and him were talking, and we did say that you can maybe sign 2 or 3 projects, maybe 1 to come in and play, and maybe 2 you can build up and get them going, but you need to sign 3 or 4, or at least 3 in my opinion, top quality players down the spine of your team, be that a goalkeeper, a midfielder, a striker, or a centre-back, whatever. I think you need to sign 3 guys worth at least 15 to 60 million pounds, or at least that are going to come in, boom, and you know that, like, i.e., what you're talking about the other night, Podence, just a guy of that ilk that's going to come in and go, boom. The guy we're linked with in the summer, the left-back for Nantes, I think it was. Merlin. Guys like that ilk, sign them and get it done, because see in 2 years' time, when you've qualified or you've got, Aaron makes a good point the other night, when you sign a player like that and you win a game that can impact you to win a game, you might get £3 or £4 million. So that's already buying your player for the next year. That's already making your money you maybe spent on one of the players. So you've got to speculate to accumulate Europe for me, JP. You've got to spend the money to impact you, and then you'll reap the rewards, I think, longer term, because we've seen it with Edward, right? I know he done it, he might have not been in the Champions League ways, right? But for a long period of time, but he done it Europe for us in Europa League. Big goals in Europa League. Julian done okay in Europa League as well for decent money. So I think the be all and end all, mate, I'm not going to put my hat on the board in terms of they've got to give a manager the best opportunity to make this team better. And they're not doing that. I know the recruitment's putting up players, but you're maybe going to get one gem or two gems like your Hatatis and Kyogos for decent prices. Maeda's for decent prices, but we can't keep going to that market all the time and spending 500 grand and £1 million because it's not going to wash for us any longer, and it's not going to wash with the majority of Celtic fans because that's probably what I'm going to say, mate. I'm just going to put it on the board. They need to help the manager because the manager's not a silly guy. The manager's a very, very good manager, but he can only put his tactics and his formations and what he puts across to the players he's got to assemble for a squad to put towards the game. So somebody has made simple mistakes cost you, but it doesn't help when the hierarchy are sitting with £70 million, probably going to be over £100 million in the summer, potentially £160 million if you add in, if you win the league. And if you don't spend it, mate, then I think there'll be if you don't spend money in January as well, especially a goalkeeper, I think there'll be a lot of angry Celtic fans.
Oh no, definitely. I think there'll be a massive inquest from the supporters if we don't see significant movement between the January window and the summer window. Alan, I know we touched base on quite a lot of what Ryan was saying there, mate. Is there anything you want to add to that, mate, what Ryan was saying, or are you quite happy to move on to the Celtic and Aberdeen game?
Oh, I think Ryan's covered kind of a lot of the issues that myself, you and Barry spoke about last night, and I think we're all kind of in a similar boat here. We're all kind of feeling the same, that kind of getting feel a bit mugged off for the board, if I'm being honest. That's my kind of feeling towards it, and I think things need to change. If they don't change soon, then I think it tells us what the board's ambitions is, that winning in Scottish football is their ceiling. That's all they want to do, and qualifying for Europa or Champions League is going to be enough, because I know the money next year in the Champions League is a lot more, but see with results like that, it's got the possibility that it could be a lot worse, because we're playing 8 games and we're playing teams of that same standard. So if we don't improve and get to a certain standard, we could be having more of these games that we're feeling in this way. So I hope the board kind of notice and start to do right by the fans.
I do think you mentioned the new format of the Champions League. I do think that's something that Celtic see themselves maybe closing the distance on the big guns in Europe. When Anthony Joseph was on here, he was chatting to me and Ryan, and he was telling us that. I think that's a sort of in-way or through the door kind of thing for Celtic to kind of model themselves on, and they're not just going to play. It's a round robin, so it's 8 games, but the draw is done so that you will just say 1 week you'll play Manchester United at Old Trafford, following week you'll play Royal Antwerp at Celtic Park. So it's going to go with the seedings and stuff. So you're not going to have like it's not going to be like 2 away games, 3 away games, 3 home games, and I think it's going to be a bit of a mix and match for that. So yeah, I think all our thought process is ultimately and directed towards the board. I think the board have got to, they've got to do more. I don't know if Ryan's writing a love letter to someone there just as we're doing this, but we can see his big fingers. So Football Monitoring Board assured me, mate, that you will lose fingers if you continue playing with your screen.
No, it's obviously what we spoke about the other night, JP. Like we can't buy a win at the minute in Champions League. So if we're an extra 2 games in the Champions League going on recent form, it's going to be an extra 2 losses. So the board need to see this as a positive and kind of make actions that we can bring in the standard of player that can make us competitive at a certain degree. We're not going to. We don't expect to go in and win every Champions League games, no within a mile, but 6-0 shouldn't be washing with the fans anymore.
No, definitely no. Definitely no. It's but like I says when I was on with yourself and Baz Allen, I do think these results are, they're always coming at us. Once at least once in the group we lose heavily, regardless of what team we play. And you look at last season, Real Madrid took 5 off us away from home. Prior to that, we've seen us lose 7 goals to PSG, 6 over at Barcelona, 5 to PSG at Celtic Park. So we've certainly had a lot of poor and results that realistically shouldn't be happening. So no, I do agree with you, mate. I think hopefully the board are listening to the fans, and they're definitely not going to give us an opportunity to go and have a chat with them directly. So they need to sort of. I'm not necessarily saying look into this one, but they need to sort of, because I think quite a lot of the Celtic fans are of the same mindset, and they're asking for change. The club aren't slow when they're asking us for money to buy jerseys and stuff for them. So, a wee bit of give and go. They need to listen to us as well, I think. But we'll draw a line under that one just now, I think. And I feel like Winston here, Ryan's wee chat there, when he comes out the left and Isaac is in, and he's like, I get off
hurry up. Stop talking.
I get off lightly there, and then the left doors opens up again. She's like,
just meet on him with the Domestos.
Wally Napier.
The time I stopped talking, you still be sitting with a loaf of bread.
That was him on Tuesday night, man. He's wee bread loaf.
It was on the telly before we come on there. They was sitting and see the man who's gone, I'm doing it for the pie. Levine in the background.
Oh, brilliant, man.
That Finley's with the sausages through it.
Aye. I'm not doing it for you, I'm doing it for the pie. Brilliant, man. Half 10 shows seen a bit of that, wee man.
I think I might need to lower my subscriptions, because that was out on night, didn't do well for me.
That wasn't the only thing it took a humping.
Wasn't me anyway. My Kinder's not doing well now.
Oh, subs it right under. Your subs sank.
Aye.
His dad messaged in last night, strap in lads, mind.
Strap in lads. And he get a ring. He was meant to say something else. Moving on to Saturday, Ryan. I'm looking forward to Saturday, because obviously Saturday, I'm too busy saying Saturday all the time. Sunday, let me correct myself, Sunday. Moving on to Sunday, 2:30 kickoff. When it's running across the bar in front of me, how can I be so silly and say Saturday still? We're just that used to playing Saturday football now. I think we're all looking forward to it. Again, that's so good about Celtic. They've got an ultimate chance then to bounce back, and usually 9 times out of 10 we're more resilient than we're not. So looking for a big, not a big wake up call, but because they've done really well in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for them to keep momentum going. We're going into another international break. We don't want to be dropping points needlessly, and giving the press here more headlines.
Aye, I think in terms of Sunday's game, mate, I'd like to think the game during the week isn't going to hammer us too much. I think the manager is well experienced, the coaching staff are well experienced, the players have had these defeats before. So, like as I said the other night, we're definitely more streetwise experienced to come back for that, and domestic-wise, European-wise, maybe no, but we know how to do it in Scotland. We know how to come back for European games and win games. So I'd imagine a few changes. I think if we had a better goalkeeper, I think Joe Hart would be potentially maybe on the team, because I didn't think he was great during the week. I don't know about you guys, but I think I did mention it the other day in a few of the group chats we used and a few of the boys, but whether or not it's just Johnson, maybe he's come to a wee bit of phase where, because he's played so well, he's maybe not up to the standards that he's used to, or is it for me? I think he's got too comfortable, personally. I think he knows he's not got a challenge, but I know he's got a challenge maybe rotation-wise, but he knows that if he plays at his pomp, Ralph's is not getting in. I think the more reason Ralston plays is due to injury or to give Johnson a break. I don't think it's due to poor performance, because for me, he's all right domestic-wise, Ralston, but I don't think he's European-wise. Can you really trust him to come and play? I'm saying that about Johnson, mate, enough, but Johnson's a better right back. But for me, I think Johnson's getting a wee bit too comfortable. Maybe I'm reading between the lines too much, and maybe it's just a few games he's not playing well, but I think he's maybe got it up a wee bit now. The last few games, he's been nowhere near it. And I think if he had a better right back, I think he'd be getting whipped. Same with the goalkeeper. I think Joe Hart's been a phenomenal goalkeeper throughout his career. He's been brilliant for Celtic. He's still a top goalkeeper. But he is getting, and it's just part of life. We all get older, and he's getting older in football terms. And he's maybe not as quick, and maybe his reflex on the as it used to be. And it happened to him across the road with Al McGregor. And again, I know he was a Rangers player, but he was, in my opinion, he was borderline top-class goalkeeper. And again, near the last few years, he let in goals and he wasn't the same player. So I think Joe Hart's kind of gone the same way. Defensively, I'd like to see a few changes. I'd like to see either Lagerbielke or Nerofsky come in. It wouldn't surprise me if he even changed the two centre-backs to give him a break. Because I don't think it's going to be a detriment playing Lagerbielke or Rocky, because I think the two of them are good centre-backs. You've paid good money for them, so they need to play in some capacity. Celtic, you mentioned it all right, we can't spend nearly £8 million on two centre-backs and not play them.
Yeah.
I know that's down to them to get in the team, but in some capacity, they need to get on games. So, will it surprise me if maybe Yang and Forrest get a game as well, give Palmer and Maeda a break? Again, we all know I'm no Forrest's biggest fan at the moment.
Do you think Palmer needs a break though, or do you not think the other night was just a sheer precautionary in the way it was like a tactic
possibly
to take him off?
But I'm just thinking the lines of keeping guys fresh. Again, I think maybe Sunday's maybe the last game where I would be making changes. I think after Sunday we just need to try and go with which your strongest team is. Maybe the odd rotation here and there, but we can't drop points, JP, because as much as I still think we're miles clear on form, we're still the best team, etc., etc. If we don't get a result on Sunday and they win on Sunday, you're potentially maybe down to 3 or 2 points, and that can't. No, but it's 8 points, sorry. So maybe down to 5, or if you draw, whatever, like, it could be done anyway. I think my maths here, so if it's 8 to 9, if we draw, it goes to 9, they win, it'll go to 6, won't it? That's right, isn't it?
They've got a game on.
So, a game in Horn. So potentially it could down to 3 or 2 by their game in Horn and stuff. So we don't want that. We want to keep ahead. We want to try and keep it as 8 as we can. If it goes to 5 with their game in Horn, it goes to 5. But you want to keep it at least until they play a wee gap. And then if you, in my opinion, we'll beat them at Celtic Park. I personally don't think they've got a chance. That's just, I'll put it out the new, right? At Celtic Park, full crowd, I think we're boom, we're on it. And then potentially going 8 points. Then I think you're right, that's good. That's good. So, Jake, I can see a few changes, mate. I'll just say the new what I think in terms of change. I think Joe Hart will win goals, because I don't think you can change a goalkeeper, because for me, Scott Bain's not good enough. And obviously, Seagrass is nowhere near the picture. I think his mind's elsewhere, but it looks it. So, I do think he'll play Ralston. I think he'll take Johnson out of the team. I'm going to go with, I think he'll keep Scales, but I think he'll not play Vickers. I think he'll play Nerofsky, and I think he'll play Scales. Ideally, I would want to play Scales maybe at left back and give Taylor a wee break, but I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll play Taylor. I want Home to play. I don't think he'll take McGregor out, but I think he deserves a shot on the bench. I'm going to go with Home, O'Reilly and McGregor. Kyogo, Jan and Palmer. I think we'll give Maeda another break. Maybe because of the red card as well. Maybe mentally he's maybe no there. So I'm just trying to freshen things up, mate. Again, I could be totally wrong with the team, mate, but I think a few changes are needed because Aberdeen, I know they're playing a hard game as well, but I would like to say they've got lesser reckoners as well. So I don't think there's any excuses, mate, if we don't get a result because they're playing a hard game as well, Aberdeen, and we've had a few games break as well. So all in all, mate, I'm looking forward to the game. I'm expecting us to win, and I would like to be comfortable because it would give a wee bit of a moral boost into the international break.
Alan, regarding Sunday, mate, what's your thoughts?
I'm quite the opposite with the team. I always think you'll make 1 or 2 changes. I think coming up to another international break, and it is an important game with regards to kind of Aberdeen's one of your top 6 sides, obviously finished third.
Yeah.
Last year. So I think Hart will keep his place in goal. I think Johnston will play as well. I know what Ryan's saying, and Ryan's right when he's saying that his performances, I don't know if it's fatigue or getting too comfortable, but his performances have certainly been kind of under par for what we've been used to for Alistair Johnston, so hopefully he can pick that up, but I think he will play. I think Scales has been playing kind of most of the games, and that was the first time we kind of seen during the week. He wasn't the only one. I think most of the players were massively underperformed, so I think it'll be Carter Vickers and Orowski. I think Taylor keeps his place. In the midfield, I still think McGregor and O'Reilly stay. This morning I was kind of in between whether it would be Home or Iwata. I think it'll be one of them, but I'd slightly go with Ryan there, and I think Home might get his chance to start. But I think up front he'll keep the same because of the international break. Most of them will kind of get a bit away from the team then, so I think it'll be Maida, Kyogo and Palmer. So I had 2 changes, Narovski in for Scales and Home in for Bernardo would be my thoughts, but it could be a big kind of lot of changes, but I kind of see it. We kind of playing Aberdeen. It's a big risk to take, making that amount of changes.
I know, I can see where you're coming from. Like I say, I'm going to the game myself, so I'm looking forward to it. I do think there will be changes in the team. I do. I think the team will probably change to... I think Joe Hart will stay where he is. I don't think Joe Hart's coming out of the team. I do think it possibly could be Ralston. I think it might be Cameron Carter-Vickers and Narovski. I think the left back will be Taylor. I think the midfield will be Iwata, O'Reilly and Home. So I think he'll bring McGregor out of the team altogether. I've just got a feeling. I don't know what it is, but I think he'll bring Callum out of the team. And I think it'll be Yang, O and Palmer that play up top. I think we'll get a chance as well. I think but at a point now, guys at Home, O, Iwata, we're going to need to see what these guys can do. We're going to have a look at them and see what they can do, especially in a big profile. I mean, that's your third best team in Scotland from last season, so I know they're probably not doing as well as what they would like to do this season, but in terms of the domestic wise, but that's you've got to take on that for last season. So they're the third best team in Scotland. So again, you've got to put these guys in and see if they can be competitive for us. I've seen there that Maeda and Kyogo have been both selected for the Japanese team as well. So I think they might get a rest. I think they'll get a rest to go and do that. I think Callum McGregor will get a rest. He's been selected for Scotland as well. So I think Iwata and stuff like that, guys like that need game times and minutes in the legs. And I think you'll see that happening. Matt O'Reilly's not been selected for the Denmark squad, which is why I've now selected him for Sunday. I think he'll want to make amends from, I don't know what he was doing the other night, but he just wasn't on it at all. He was one of the ones, and he's one of your big game players.
Yep.
I watched his podcast, and he says he tries to model his game on some of what Kevin De Bruyne does, and he wouldn't even a pass marks for Ken Dodd the other night, let alone Kevin De Bruyne. So I don't know what you would call that. Ken Barlow maybe, but no Kevin De Bruyne. No. So I hope he's back on it on Sunday. And as I said, lads, it's one of those ones. It's Aberdeen are playing well under Barry Robson. So
see on Kyogo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you feel, lads, because obviously I wasn't on the night, but I have said to you personally, and I feel other guys in the group chats again. Only wee man, again, people might think I'm totally Looney Tunes, they might think I'm more nothing here. They might think I'm absolutely talking about my cheeks, but I think the wee man's got to do well in Europe for me. Again, I think domestically, he's been world class. He's been fantastic, scoring goals. He's been in the play. And again, I don't know if it's because of the way Rodgers just tried to go with him, the way he's tried to get into the middle and plays a 10, basically, like the play and stuff like that. But I think for me in Europe, especially away from home, I feel he's got to do a lot more for me. I think he touches during the week before they come on. And I don't care who you're playing, that's not good enough for me as a Celtic striker. I know I didn't play that level myself, but I played up front myself. And if you're getting frustrated and you're not getting in the game, you need to then go and get yourself in the game. Be that harsh on defenders, going wide to get the ball. You need to get in the game. And for me, I feel sorry for him in a way because he wasn't getting the ball. I get that. And it is a graveyard shift. I've been there myself, playing it front yourself. It is a graveyard shift. It can be. But you still need to get in the game in some capacity. Either you need to go in and tackle, you need to try and affect the game as much as you can. And for me, I just didn't think it just wasn't a game at all. And I think he's got to do more for me again. I know he scored is it 2 goals this campaign? Is that right? I think Lazio Madrid, is that right? 2 goals?
Yeah.
So again, he's done better than last season. But again, I don't know if we need to change the way we're going to these games by signing somebody like a Hesselink type player or a Dembele type of physical presence for these games away from home and change the way we're playing, because we need to hold the ball up. We need to get the team up the park, and that's not his game. He doesn't do that. So he's not going to hold it in and get his elbows up, and he's not going to do that. He's more down the channel and I don't like to play in 1-2s and whatever else. That's not his game. Dembele, like Edward, maybe not Edward, but Dembele and Hesselink. Even McDonald done it. McDonald was small, he was sturdy. He done it as well, but I think we're missing that sort of presence. I'm not saying he's a bad player because he's no. I just think European-wise, either you play him at home and let him do the donkey work at home and let him score goals at home. But away from home, I think either we need to change the way we play, or you need to play to suit him, because he's for me, he's been no effective away from home in Europe. He's been nowhere near it. Again, I know a lot of guys, but I'm just trying to focus on just him because I'm watching him quite closely, and he was nowhere near it during the week. I know people might think I'm maybe been too critical of him, but I think he's got to do a lot more. There's a lot more in football than just scoring goals. You need to hassle defenders. You need to go into the play. You need to do a lot more than just score goals. And I think there's a few games in the league this year that he's been not really doing much. I know people might go, Larsson didn't do much, but Larsson was, for me, Larsson's you can't. I'm not going to sit here and compare him to Larsson, because in terms of the European side, I think he's got to do a lot more. Guys like Edward, Dembele, Hooper, Griffiths, they all done a lot better than the wee man in Europe, in my opinion. So I'm not going to put my hat on that side. I'm never going to compare them to anybody because they're different players. You can't compare them. But I get what people are saying, mate. But I don't know what you feel on that, JP and Alan. But for me, maybe I'm been too critical because we get beat. I don't know, but I think the wee man's got to do a lot more than what he's doing away from home, because I think it's all right scoring goals, but I think to take us to the next level, I think you need to do a bit more.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from in some sense and perspective of what you're saying there. Alan, do you go ahead with that in terms of Kyogo, mate? What's your take on the wee man?
I think it's just the type of player he is. I don't think he's going into his locker for the there are kind of contributions that Ryan and other people might be speaking about. I think we've got the type of player that if he doesn't score, he's not going to make much contribution elsewhere in the park, and that's just his game. He'll chase the ball down, he'll press, but if he's not scoring, he's maybe. You seen a few games ago, was it the O'Reilly goal? No, the O'Reilly goal, he had to be touched on it.
Yeah.
But it's very seldom you see him do a great deal out with kind of the penalty box when he's scoring. So he's not that type of player. But I agree with Ryan that we do need a different type of striker. Whether O is that striker, that only time will tell. But especially going into games away from home in Europe, it would be beneficial for us to have that kind of battering ram, a striker, somebody that can hold the ball up for the rest of the players to move forward up the park. So I think the type of games, you're not going to see a great deal of Kyogo, and he's going to look like a luxury and a passenger at times, because most of his gameplay is in the kind of opposition box, and out with that, you're struggling to see any contribution he makes for there. So I definitely think a striker should be, whether or not it's January or the summer, I think a striker now should be kind of high on the priority list, because the way Brendan plays as well, the tactics are slightly changed. I think that could possibly suit. I know we always keep saying kind of Giakoumakis, but somebody that kind of style, maybe not him, but somebody that's got a different kind of skill set and a different gameplay than Kyogo's got, because Kyogo's got a kind of niche predator kind of penalty box striker. He's all about his movement. So you're looking for somebody else that would put in the kind of work rate in different games and switch it up necessarily when we need whatever such striker it'll be.
Aye, no, I can see where you're coming from. Both of you feeling a wee bit blessed here. It looks like I've got a big crucifix right across my face.
That's just the bleach marks for Wednesday night.
Bleach in his eyes, eyeball Paul.
I had to do that for him on a podcast.
Every time he talks to me, he's all the eye drops in his eye.
I'm just trying to get out of the way of the sun here.
You're not my fellow DJ.
Aye.
I'm just trying to get out of the way of the sun. November, sunny in Glasgow, who'd have thought it? Still -8 out there right enough, so I would put a jumper on if you're going anywhere.
It's a bit brisk, isn't it?
It's a wee bit brisk, aye. It's a wee bit fresh. English people come up here at this time of the year and they're always sucking on exhaust pipes, door up for a bit of fresh air.
That's cold, isn't it? Baltic, man.
It's too cold for them, aye. I went out one year and I'm like, what are you doing, mate? Try to break into my motor? And he's not, I'm just trying to get a breath, pal.
It's cold here, son. Where'd you get your exhaust for off, Manky Frankie?
Aye. I got it in instalments. Got the first part for Amazon today, the second part for Very yesterday, and the day before it was what's that armour? Parcel Force.
See, but I don't want people thinking that I'm criticising the wee man, because he is a fantastic player, and maybe I agree with Alan. It's no maybe part of his game today, bits that maybe I'm saying we should be doing, but that's something the board and the manager to look at that and think, well, I know people say, JP, about signing another player with the same ilk or the same money, right, that you can't do it because he'll be sitting on the bench, but why can you not play two up front? You can change your formation. I know we're built into this. Well, surely since Guardiola. Guardiola's built this philosophy about formations and to play this 4-3-3 and the three up front and the two wing backs inverted and all that carry on. It's changed football. Sometimes you can go a 4-4-2 or a 5-4, whatever you want to do, two up front. You can do that. So there's no reason why you can't, especially scheme.
As I says to Baz, you could have had a Craig Levine.
Oh, I know. See my opinion, the way I know we play three up front, right? I get that, right? When you're attacking, you play three up front, right? But I still feel in Scotland we should be playing 2 up front. I've always said that, I've said it here before. We should be playing, in my opinion, a 4-4-2. You should be playing 2 up front. Because see like last year with Kyogo and Jack and Marcus, or even before, right? See if you had day 2 up front consistently, I personally feel you batter teams, personally. I know he done it in Europe, and it didn't work, but that's Europe, that's a different kettle of fish. Bio and Kyogo, Big O, hold it up, play to Kyogo. I think it could work, but I know you need to change it.
There was one the other night, he got up when he done knocked it over. But
that's what I'm saying.
Offside, but
this is why I hate the 1 up. It technically is 1 up front with 2 wingers, right? But this is why I hate when you have 1 man up front, because if he flicks it on or he holds it up, there's nobody behind him to pass it on to. Or it's a distance between the 2 wingers in midfield. Yeah. So I don't know if that is something we could look at in the future, by playing 2 up front, because I like it. I prefer it. I prefer myself playing with somebody up front. I think when you're playing up front yourself, like the wee man, sometimes you're distant to the rest of the team. So I think, especially European time, side JP, the European side of things, I think another striker the same Wilkes, I think it's going to happen, because it means you can play 1 in Scotland, 1 in Europe, interchange it in certain games, and it means that you're not having to go, right, O's playing, right, is he going to score goals for us? Is he going to do it? Right now, we can't say aye. But if you sign somebody that's a proven goal scorer that can come in and play, I know every signing's a gamble, right? But see if you do your due diligence and you sign somebody who's scoring goals already, you won't need to do a major transition, because you know you're going to get goals out of him. Just look at your previous goal scorers, like Griffiths, previous clubs, scored goals. Hooper in the Championship, the Scunthorpe, maybe not the level, scored goals, came to Scotland, scored goals. Anthony Stokes, previous teams, McDonald, Hesselink, Dembele, Edward, maybe not much, but they're all proven goal scorers. And we've technically, right now we've only got 1 proven goal scorer. So I think if you go into your due diligence, JP, and you sign guys, like Alan said, I think you said it as well, then I think it's only going to help us, mate, going forward.
Yeah, no, 100%, mate. I really do. I think the wee man does need a hand. I've said it a couple of times on here. I think he needs a bit of helping hand, and I think he needs to. He goes with that finger again. I think he needs to.
Somebody keeps phoning us.
Right, okay. I think he needs. He needs a hand. He needs a bit of help, Alan. Because I feel as if sometimes there's a lot of onus put on Kyogo, and when he's not scoring goals or he's played a game where he's not really got involved, like Tuesday night, a lot of people are saying, is he really as good as what he is? And they forget everything he's already done for us. Yeah. I think if you give him a helping hand and you bring somebody in just as good, if not that wee bit better, if we're lucky, I think it would take some sort of pressure off him, and that he can regroup himself and can I go again?
I know, definitely. Well, as I say, O played against Ross County and he done reasonably well, so maybe that's the kind of game he needs to kick on and really impress in his Celtic career. But at the minute, as we stand, I'd say we definitely need somebody in to help Kyogo. Because Kyogo's got his niche with style of play. He is a kind of your movement type striker, penalty box striker. So if we're going into a different game with a different set of tactics, he's no getting in his locker to adjust to the type of player that we might need, the type of player that O is, the type of player that Jack and Marcus was. Ryan's mentioned kind of Edward, Dembele, Veligura, Hesselink. Kyogo's not going in his locker to be that type of player. He's a completely different striker. So I think bringing in a player that can give you that kind of option can only be beneficial for the team and the club. Because if something's not going our way, whether that be in the league or Europe, then we've got that option to change the way we're playing up front, run about. If something's not working, we can make minor changes, and that would be beneficial to maybe picking up a draw at home in the league, maybe turn into 3 points with a type of striker. And even in Europe, if we're we're doing 1-0 or something, this kind of striker could come on and make a valuable point. So it's like anything, as long as we're bringing in kind of quality instead of quantity for January onwards. I think that's the way I'd be wanting to see it for the whole with the club.
Because I feel, JP, like Alan says there, I don't think you can have enough quality. You can always, I know you might have a big squad, but see if you've got 15 to 16 quality players to pick for, sorry. I'd rather have that than maybe 25 a squad, or 22 a squad, whatever it is, like 23, and maybe 10 of them are just like decent. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense, like you said, I like quality over quantity. I'd rather have quality players than guys who are maybe up and coming, and you need to coach them, develop them. I don't think you can get enough quality, mate. You can always have quality, and I'd rather have quality behind me than maybe they would bring him on. Is he going to be up to it? So I totally agree. They're different strikers and they do different things, but all in all, mate, I think the wee man needs help. It can't just go into him to score the goals. I know this season we've kind of dipped in for different positions, but in a consensus, we can't just rely on one striker to score your goals, because we don't know if we'll get. I think we'll get 8 goals or something, but can we rely on him to go and get 15 to 20 goals a season? We can't say so yet, because we've not seen it. So.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with both of you. I think you can't have enough. I'm of that opinion as well. You can't have enough quality in your squad. I know Brendan has been saying that, you know, he wants to trim the squad and bring the numbers down. I think it's sitting at 20. 20. Aye, I wish. 25 he's wanting to bring it to. I think, you know, the squad's sitting around about 33, 34. You're looking at about 8, 9 players. Mm-hmm. You're looking about 8, 9 players are going to have to go for him to do that. And we're talking about adding to it as well. So I'm not too sure 8 and 9 is going to just cut it. I think you need more to go before we can really add some significant quality to give the lads a hand. But just summarising with these lads, obviously before we finish up, I think we're all pretty much looking forward to Sunday. And the sense is we're looking for change from the board in terms of like recruitment, or to give the manager a hand to bring in that quality we desire to be able to play at that bigger level. Because if we continue doing it the way we are, we're going to continue to see the results that we're seeing, and we're always going to set ourselves up to fail. It's like sending us into war with a water pistol. It's not really helping us any. And I think the manager, like I says the other night, Ryan, when I was on as well, I think we're going to lose him. I really do. I think he will go, because there will become a lot of needle between them, between him, the board, recruitment team, if they don't get it sorted, mate. And I agree. I think overall,
see what he wants.
We need to get that sorted.
I think what the manager wants, mate, you need him, because you've got to trust him. He's an elite manager. He's, like I said, he's not a silly. He's not just a rookie manager. You need to give him what he wants, and in my opinion, if you back him and give him what he wants, you're going to get success. And I think that's the full summary for me. I think if you back the manager and let him do what he's got to do on the park, I think you'll get success everywhere. Every competition, I think you'll get success.
Alan, you want to add anything, mate, to that before we finish up? No, I think you've summed it up kind of spot on. We spoke about it in depth there or late. The board definitely need to get behind the manager. I think Barry mentioned there or late as well. What you could sense on transfer deadline day when Brendan was getting interviewed, and he was saying that he wanted kind of quality in. And I don't think he got what he was looking for. I definitely don't think that. So I think you're spot on, JP. We could lose him. I think tensions could rise if we continue to go down the road we're going, with the model we're going down. I think tensions could rise between the board and Brendan. And ultimately, I don't think Brendan would be short of offers, whether that's on the continent or back down south.
Yeah.
I think he would be short of offers. So if it got to that tension stage, I think we could possibly lose them. So here's hope the board are taking note, listening, and we can start moving forward positive, and putting a wee bit more ambition into the club and the management, that we can progress in Europe better.
There you are, Big Alan said it. I hope you're listening, folks. I really do, because we know our stuff. Well, we think we do. I'm only kidding. But it sounds good.
Bum yourself up. We know it.
It sounds good at the time, anyway. Just before we go, a couple of wee announcements. The podcast is proudly sponsored by AB Entertainment. The AB stands for a Mr. Alec Beveridge. The telephone number is on your screen if you wish to get in contact with him for entertainment or any functions you've got coming up through your family, yourself, your husband at all, your wife, your workplace, anything at all. You can get him on the WhatsApp through this number, 07845 746 092. The Unrestricted View has also got some merchandise, the last of the merchandise up for grabs. We've got these mugs here, folks. They're in vinyl print. These are priced at £5, along with these keyrings, and they're priced at £1.50. So if anybody wants to get their hands on them, you just give us a wee message on any of the above platforms. Facebook, Twitter, or X as it's called now, Instagram, or TikTok. And you can also message us in the community section of the channel for anything at all you wish or anything you desire. I'm sure Ryan will put you on another couple of things. He's got another couple of wee apps on his phone as well. So
there's plenty of X's on nature.
Definitely. All in all, folks, it's been a pleasure coming and having another chat for you. Myself, Ryan, Alan. Hail, guys. Take care. Have a nice weekend. We all look forward to it.
Hail.
Cheers, lads. Bye-bye.